On the island of Donan, residents report that unusual events are beginning to cause serious concern, claiming that the natural order of events is being mysteriously disrupted.
Some of the islanders are worried. Things we'd normally expect in springtime aren't happening. There seems to be an ecological disaster coming at us and we can't work out why.
The island may be under a curse.
They know when something is wrong, and the island is wrong just now. So they left.
Wrong?
You know it is.
I do? Yes, I do. I can't unknow it. Is that why you called me back? What can I do?
What you've always been able to do. Listen.
I can't help but listen. I hear them all the time. We have this connection, this gift, so-called. We can hear things, each other. I need to figure this out, what the voices are really saying. Auntie B says I have to listen to them, not block them out.
Well, that's probably right.
So far, there appears to be no scientific explanation for the unusual conditions occurring on Donan.
They're so angry. The angels' share has been taken away and the angels are livid. The distillery is busy protecting its 4% with industrial strength cling film, and the angels are having withdrawal symptoms.
I knew there must be something. The bees tried to tell me, but I couldn't make sense of it.
Can you tell us what kind of things are not happening?
Well, the farmers are saying that the lambing's so late it doesn't seem to be happening at all. People have noticed there's no spring flowers in the hedgerows, and they should all be blooming at this time of year. Twitchers are here looking for the migrant birds, but there's no sign of them. Even the milk's gone off and the meat's turning green in the co-op's fridges, and the fishermen say the fish are already rotten before they can land them.
Can you imagine if I went to the owners and told them this? I'd be locked up so fast. No, they'd probably burn me as a witch.
Is this a real disaster or a series of coincidences?
Will the Donan Island survive? Will the curse be lifted? Listen now, Angels of Scotland. A podcast audios exclusive, an audio drama by Korn, in collaboration with Sound Escape Theatre. Angels of Scotland, only on Quit Your You Started podcast. Listen now.
Hello? Yes, it's me, Elsa. Who did you think it was? Oh, it's not so bad as conferences go. Too many teachers and too much coffee. But you tried to call me. I'll be home tomorrow, but I can't talk for long, Stuart. There's a plenary in 5 minutes. And then we're off the hook, thank goodness. No, I won't get too drunk. You know me. Hey! Drunk in charge of a wheelchair. Don't you be cheeky. I'm getting the 11:30 ferry in the morning, assuming it's on time. No, look, I don't even want to discuss this, Stuart. I said no. What part of no? I'm not joking. Come on, you know why. Why do you keep asking me? Look, Stuart, I am not performing at the folk festival. I've told you. Of course, the wheelchair. I've told you and told you. I'm not performing in a bloody wheelchair. No, I'm not practicing. I'm not practicing, I'm not playing, and I'm not picking the damn thing up ever again. Just leave me alone, will you?
High Spirits. High Spirits is written and directed by Jill Korn, with music by Gregor Kichi and sound design by John Boyd. High Spirits is part of an Ayrshire Trilogy, an audio drama series supported by funding from Creative Scotland.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ship is preparing to dock. Vehicle passengers are requested to make their way to the car deck and await instructions for disembarking. Would foot passengers prepare to follow, please, and take the starboard exits where crew will direct you. We hope you had a pleasant crossing. Thank you for sailing with Calvin
These
and McRae.
bloody ferries! They're built like they are. Why don't they do something about it?
Sorry, excuse me, can I pass you? I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh! Ow!
Watch out!
Oh!
I can't move any faster.
Ow!
I can't bloody move at all.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Did you hurt yourself?
Oh!
These things are a damn nuisance in public spaces, I know.
No, it's my fault. I caught my foot in your wheel. Are you alright?
What? You mean apart from being stuck here like a beached whale?
Can I help?
I doubt it. These chairs are heavy and it's jammed. It needs physically lifting over this sill thing. I managed coming in. The steward will come in a minute.
I left my phone in the coffee bar. I'm so stupid. I have to go back. It's got everything on it.
Is this it?
Yes. Oh, how did you find it?
I saw you leave it. I was going to hand it in to the steward when he helped me off the ferry. But then I ran into you. Or rather, you ran into me.
Thank you so much. I don't know your name.
Elsa.
I'm Bria. I was so busy making sure I didn't leave my guitar behind. I've done that before too. I can't even play very well, but I can't sing without it.
Ah, you're a singer. At least you didn't leave your voice behind. Got everything now?
Yes, I think so. Unless I've left my head up on deck.
No, that's definitely still there. I can see it. Are you here on holiday?
Not really. I belong here. Sort of. It's a long story. What about you?
Oh, I work here. I'm from the East Coast originally. That's a long story too.
Here I am, madam, at your service. I've called the lift.
Thank God, Jimmy. I thought I'd be ferrying backwards and forwards all day. I'm completely stuck, see? When are you going to redesign your ships for wheelchair users? Obviously, they didn't have them back in Noah's day when this one was built.
You know the answer to that one. Sometime, never. Here.
Nice to meet you, Elsa. I'd better go, though. Get out your road.
Bye then. See you soon, I hope.
I'm sure I know her. From a way back. Nope, can't quite place her. Oh well, off we go. Your elevator awaits you, madam. Or would you rather walk the plank?
You behave yourself, Jim McBride. I'm not in the mood for your nonsense.
Ah, you like me really.
Do I? I'll tell you when you get me off this bloody boat.
I will need to take up your references, Bria.
Of course, I understand.
But, given that I know you already...
I wasn't sure you'd recognise me after all this time.
I'd know you anywhere. It's only been 9 years, and with a name like Bria MacLeod, well, can't be that many of you, can there?
So anonymity's not an option then?
Oh, I reckon you'd need to do a lot more than dye your hair to get away with it in these islands. Everyone will know you're back if they don't already. Is that a problem?
I'm not sure yet, Stuart. But if I don't get a job, that's a problem.
Left the big city for good then?
Maybe.
Plenty of anonymity there if that's what you're after, I imagine.
Even better if you reinvent yourself on social media. You can be a completely different person. You can be whoever you want.
I did look you up, actually. Part of my job. I couldn't find you, though. What are you called on Insta?
I'll let you keep guessing for a while longer, eh? You did well, Stuart. Visitor Centre Manager for the new distillery. Don't suppose you needed to be good at maths for this job.
Just a standard grade, which I scraped by in the end.
I remember. You used to steal my homework.
You've got the job.
What?
You've got the job, Bria. Now, will you tell me why you left like that? Why you disappeared and we never heard from you from then till now?
Maybe that's why.
How do you mean?
Because here, everybody wants to know everything.
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, I am. I shouldn't have said that, but...
But what?
Do I still get the job?
So, that's the garment part of the stockroom. We should have at least one of everything on display in each size so people aren't put off.
Yep, I get it. So, just replenish as we sell.
That's it. Do you want to go in and do a quick check now? It might help you get used to where everything is.
No problem. Do we look after the drink shelves as well?
No, only if Mark or Sadie are on their break. It takes a while to get to know all their stock, and we get a lot of so-called connoisseurs in here who like to show off their knowledge of everything whiskey. So, I think you're better sticking with the sweatshirts and for a haggis for now.
Or is it Haggai?
Or haggises, who knows?
Thanks, Stuart. It'll take me a wee while to get the hang of where it all is, though.
That's fine. Just ask. Don't struggle.
Ta. Small, medium, large and extra large, all present and correct. I wonder if there's an XXL in this. Better check. What's that? What is that? Oh my god! Oh, Stuart!
Is that all for you, sir? You can just pay at the till. Bria, what's the matter? Are you no well?
What was that noise? That wailing, keening sound?
What noise? Oh, you mean the Ardna having ghost? That's just the wind catching the corrugated roof. We don't even notice it anymore. You're as white as a sheet though. Why don't you take your break now and get a tea or something? You'll get used to it, honestly. On you go.
I will. Get a tea. Thanks. I'll come straight back. I won't ever get used to those voices though. I have to block them out. Oh God. Why won't they leave me alone?
On the island of Donan, residents report that unusual events are beginning to cause serious concern, claiming that the natural order of events is being mysteriously disrupted. Stuart McCall is a manager at Ardnahaven Distillery on Donan.
Aye. Some of the islanders are worried. Things we'd normally expect in springtime aren't happening. There seems to be an ecological disaster coming at us and we can't work out why. We're genuinely concerned.
Can you tell us what kind of things are not happening?
Well, the farmers are saying that the lambing's so late it doesn't seem to be happening at all. People have noticed there's no spring flowers in the hedgerows, and they should all be blooming at this time of year. Twitchers are here looking for the migrant birds, but there's no sign of them. Even the milk's gone off and the meat's turning green in the co-op's fridges, and the fishermen say the fish are already rotten before they can land them.
And Stuart, how would you explain these catastrophes? Is this a real disaster or a series of coincidences?
It's been a very hard winter, and the whole island is trying to get over a pandemic. Maybe that's why, but I don't have an answer, no.
It's being suggested on social media that the island may be under a curse. We approached the council for comment on these apparently disastrous events, but their spokesperson declined to be interviewed. She did, however, send us this statement. We are keeping a watching brief on the situation. So far, there appears to be no scientific explanation for the unusual conditions occurring on Donan. But at this stage, the public can rest assured that we are doing everything possible to support them. And now in other news, a stash of ancient whisky bottles has been found.
Have a scone, child. It's wee Patsy Drummond that supplies them, and they're nearly as good as her mother's were. Pity there's no honey, though.
Auntie B, I am so sorry.
What for?
For going away like that. For not coming back to see you. I feel so bad about it, and...
Well, the city hasn't done you any harm that I can see. Except maybe to fill your head with nonsense.
What nonsense?
Gowpery. Regrets. Tell me, what good did regretting things ever do anybody?
But I wish I had visited you more.
Wished, child. Backward wishes are nothing but a waste of time.
Are you comfy here, Auntie? Are they looking after you all right?
Of course they are. I've known most of the staff here since they were weans. Aye, and their mothers too. I'm perfectly fine here. It was my time. But I'm heart sorry my bees are away.
What about your bees? Are they away because you had to leave them?
Ach, no, child. The bees left me.
Why? They would never have left you.
They know when something is wrong, and the island is wrong just now, so they left.
Wrong?
You know it is.
I do? Yes, I do. I can't unknow it. Is that why you called me back? What can I do?
What you've always been able to do. Listen.
I can't help but listen. I hear them all the time.
I know.
Auntie B, sometimes I'm frightened.
No need. I'm still here.
So I must listen. You falling asleep? Have a good snooze, Auntie. I'll be back to see you soon.
Scotland, from her lush rolling lowlands to her highest highland peaks, from her wild coastlines and misty lochs to her green inland pastures, Scotland is the home of the world-famous Ushkaba, or water of life. Welcome to Ardnahaven, Scotland's newest distillery, set here on the western shore of our beautiful island of Donnan. The soft, pure water that flows down through the peat hills and valleys of Donnan combines with our smoked, malted barley to produce a spirit which is unique in its intensity and subtle flavours. Here at Ardnahaven, we combine the great traditions of Scotch whisky production with the latest state-of-the-art technology. It's been long known that as much as 4% of our precious Scotch whisky disappears every year through evaporation. That 4% has come to be known as the Angel's Share. That's a lot of whisky. At the last count in Scotland, it amounted to 110 million litres of whisky lost every year. So here at Ardnahaven, we're conducting an experiment designed to help safeguard our single malts and our island's economy. We have come up with a way to retain all of the spirits in the cask by wrapping them in a form of cling film. This means that instead of going to the so-called angels, the whisky stays where it is, increasing both the production and the profitability of our new distillery. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this short presentation. Enjoy your tour and remember to ask your guide any questions you might have. Afterwards, please make your way to our gift shop for your unique Ardnahaven tasting experience.
I can hear you! My God! I can't stop hearing you! But that noise, it's horrible! You used to sing. You always sang to me, and I thought I could get used to that again, but this? I've never heard you like this. Are there words? Are you speaking? I can't make out what. Will you stop? Just bloody stop! Shut up! Shut up!
Hello?
Oh.
Bria, are you okay? Sorry, stupid question. Of course you're not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I feel so. I'm okay. I think.
You seem really upset.
It's crazy. I want to ask you.
Ask me.
It's just...
Go on.
I know what you'll say. When you were coming along there just now, could you hear them? No, I can see by your face that you couldn't.
I take it you don't mean the oyster catchers.
No. Look, you're going to think I'm suffering, that I'm delusional. It's probably better if I'm fine now, honestly.
Look, a bench. Just when we needed one. Why not sit here for a minute? I'll manoeuvre in here beside you. Can you still hear them?
No. I'm not mad.
You don't seem mad.
No, I'm just Donnan's answer to Joan of Arc. That's why I left. Because you can't hear them in Edinburgh over the noise of the traffic and the trains and the crowds. That's why. That and the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not from here. You weren't here when I left. Have you ever seen an island funeral?
Yes.
How people stand, lining the whole length of the main street. Silent, dressed in black. Respectful, yes, but curious. What will the lassie do now? She hears voices, you know. A strange wee lassie, always was. Will she not get put away now that her man par gone? Is that not tragic?
That must have been painful.
I made the funeral director drive me straight to the ferry afterwards. By the time they were filling in my parents' graves, I was on the boat, and I never came back.
Till now.
Till now.
Why now?
My Auntie B. She's not well and she called me back.
Ah, I see. Is she in the hospital?
No, she's in the home. She's well looked after, but all her bees have died. And she's very alone now. She's not called Bee, really. She's Bria, like me. I'm named for her. I feel so guilty. I haven't seen her since I left.
But you came when she phoned you.
Aye. She didn't phone me, though.
I thought you said she called you.
She called me. Yes. We have this connection, this gift, so-called. We can hear things, each other, singing, voices. But I ran away to block them out. She's a very strong presence, though, even now. And when she called me, I heard her. And I had to come back. Thank you.
For what?
For not laughing at me or treating me like I'm weird, even though I am.
You're talking to the woman who gets about like a Dalek on speed. And I can't do the stairs either. Listen, Bria. Weird is in the eye of the beholder. That's the beholder's problem, not yours.
What do you do?
I teach music at the high school.
That's fantastic. It's where I learned to love singing. Before you were there, though. What instrument do you play?
Yeah. I used to play the clarsach.
That's fabulous. I love harp music. But you don't play now?
Not really. It doesn't really go with the wheelchair thing.
What? I can't believe that after what you just said.
Well, it's difficult.
Weird is in the eye of the beholder. You said it. If we're weird, we should be weird. Weird and proud.
Maybe you're right. Stuart thinks I should play. He's always asking me to perform at festivals and ceilidhs and so on.
Are you and Stuart an item? Sorry, that's none of my business.
We were.
Okay.
Maybe we should be again.
Okay.
So, what now?
I need to figure this out, what the voices are really saying. Auntie B says I have to listen to them, not block them out.
Well, that's probably right. But you still look a bit shaky to me. I'll fetch us something from the cafe to warm us. And then I'll stay with you while you listen. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay. So, I did listen, like you told me.
And what did you hear?
You won't believe this. They're so angry. The Angels' share has been taken away and the Angels are livid. The distillery is busy protecting its 4% with industrial strength cling film, and the Angels are having withdrawal symptoms. They need to be tipsy to keep their balance. If they lose that balance, so does the whole island. Why didn't I think of that?
I knew there must be something. The bees tried to tell me, but I couldn't make sense of it.
The whole island is out of kilter. Everything is wrong.
It is.
Can you imagine if I went to the owners and told them this? I'd be locked up so fast. No, they'd probably burn me as a witch.
It's been done before.
Burning witches, I know.
Changing minds. It's been done before. Here's our tea.
I'll have sugar, please.
Thank you, dear.
Thanks.
Why that tattoo on your wrist, child? You didn't have that done here.
It's the symbol for Gemini.
I recognise it. Ruled by the winged messenger himself. You're a child of the air. Your job is to cross the barriers that separate the different elements in this world. Your job is telling stories and bringing back harmony.
Have you heard of social media, Auntie? Twitter, Insta, Facebook.
That's your language, child. Your world, not mine.
But it's a way of influencing, of communicating. It's how the world connects. I think I know what I can do.
Yes, I think you do. And I knew you would. I'm glad I called you home. I can sleep easy.
Experts are completely baffled by the dramatic environmental turnaround that has taken place on the Isle of Donan. The island, which is home to Scotland's newest distillery, was rumoured recently to be under a curse. When the natural events of this springtime failed to occur, many speculated as to the cause of the ecological disaster that was devastating the island. However, we have confirmed reports that spring has finally come to Donan, the latest since records began. We asked one of Donan's oldest residents for her view. Hello there, is that Mrs. B?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, dear?
I can hear you, Mrs. B. Go ahead.
It's Auntie, dear. Auntie B. Well, I can tell you that the lambs are all coming along just fine now. 40 each ewe and growing faster than you can blink. Peeking out my window, I can see the hedgerows looking like they're on fire with all the flowers blooming there. And here, the trees and fields are full of nesting birds. The shore is alive with oyster catchers. You should come over and see for yourself, dear. You'd be welcome any time. What was your name again, dear?
It's Charlie, Mrs. Auntie B. But I'll need to go now.
Very good, dear. There'll be a wee pot of honey waiting for you when you come.
And in other news, it's been reported that the owners at Ardnahaven Distillery have returned to the traditional method of maturing their new range of single malts. The plastic wrappings, which had encased the bourbon, sherry and wine casks, have now been removed. A distillery spokesperson has reassured concerned islanders that the tons of waste plastic will be recycled to produce sustainable hives for the swarms of bees which have appeared, apparently from nowhere, to take up residence throughout the island. This decision by the distillery has silenced the so-called Gemini warrior responsible for an extensive social media campaign. The campaign, which was aimed directly at Scotch whisky connoisseurs across the globe, rapidly went viral with tweets such as, "How do you drink your whisky? Neat or with a dash of PVC? Have you a nose for a single malt? Are you peaty, smoky or just plain polythene? Scotch and plastic? Think it'll catch on any time soon?" The campaign also featured the hashtag Scotch and Cling Film, and a meme showing Plastic Man sitting astride the barrels at Ardnahaven. All of the posts disappeared overnight, and the author of the campaign has not been identified, but the distillery issued a statement saying, We're putting this behind us and looking forward to tasting the finest whisky from our very first casks in this positive new environment.
Can you get the wine out, please, Stu?
Well, do you? You want me to open it?
Of course.
Oh, well, you never know. You're so independent and all that.
Yes, I am. And don't you forget it.
As if I could. Happy.
Elsa! You'll never guess. They've given me their songs. Oh, God. Sorry, I didn't realise.
It's okay. We're just about to have a glass of wine. Would you like
I
one?
didn't mean to interrupt you if...
Oh, you're not. Well,
Here's a glass.
no, yeah, anyway. Who's giving you their songs?
The angels.
What?
The angels gave me their songs.
Really?
Yes, I hear them everywhere.
I can't hear anything, or
Listen.
can I?
I think I can. Yes. Just faintly. There! I think I really can!
I've learned them all, but I need someone to accompany me. I need someone who can play the clarsach, who can play it beautifully and joyfully.
I know someone.
Do you now?
I do, sweetheart. Don't I?
Will you, Elsa, please?
I'm very rusty.
So am I.
You'll need a name.
I think we'll just call ourselves
The angels share.
the Bee's Knees.
Gemini warrior.
Alright, there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but it's all sounding good to me.
What do you mean, something going on?
I don't know what he means.
Well, there's something going on between you two anyway.
Well, now that you mention it, Elsa, will you
Will I what?
marry me?
About time, you two.
Now escaping from the sun, blinded by the voices in my head, when there's nowhere to run, the fears and doubts that I dread, the fears and doubts in my head. My closed heart has opened doors for me, facing fear and holding strong. Highlands angels singing voices in my head. We are back where we belong. We are back where we belong. We'll face fear, hold our heads high. We'll face fear into the night. Face fear, hold our heads high. Face fear into the night. Keep the good spirits up, my friend. We have conquered all the world. Despite adversity, our belief has led the way. Let laughter fill every room. Ignore the voices in your head. We'll face fear, hold our heads high. We'll face fear into the night. We'll face fear, hold our heads high. We'll face fear into the night. Face fear, hold our heads high. Face fear into the night. Face fear, hold our heads high. Face fear into the night.
The part of Elsa was played by Kerry Clarence, Bria by Angela Ness, and Stuart by Matthew O'Hara. Diane Brooks played Auntie B, and Neil MacDonald the radio announcer. Other parts were played by members of the cast. High Spirits was written and directed by Jill Korn. The song Face Fear was composed by Gregor Keitchy. It was performed by Kerry Clarence and Christy Scott, accompanied by Rachel Hare on clarsach and Ron Jappy on guitar. Sound mixing was by David Simpson. High Spirits was recorded in Glasgow. Our sound engineer was David Simpson and the producer was John Boyd. High Spirits is part of an Ayrshire Trilogy, an audio drama series supported by funding from Creative Scotland.
So, hello there. You've just listened to Jill Korn's, I forgot the name, oh my god, Angels of Scotland. It is renamed. Yep. So the producer of this big story, Angels of Scotland, which was High Spirits, by the way, she is very new to the name and the whole cast is very new to the name. So she was trying to adjust what's going on. I'm not catching up with the name, but now we have gone through this. Like, she is like, it took like 24-48 hours to catch up with the names. She made a Facebook post and made it clear, very clear to everyone, that it will be distributed to the global audience as Angels of Scotland. So Jill, like, we are doing a very quick catch up as listeners have listened to this whole story on the podcast, but please tell us the story behind the story.
I live near the west coast of Scotland. And off the coast of Scotland on this side are many islands, bigger islands, small islands, some of them more famous than others. And I love to visit the islands. And I've written 3 stories perhaps about the Scottish islands. This particular story came from a visit to an island called Islay, which is very famous for its whiskey. On Islay, there are 9 distilleries, 9 separate distilleries, and the whiskey from Islay goes all over the world. When I was visiting one of these distilleries, the newest one actually, we were having coffee. We'd done the distillery visit. We were having coffee in the tea room, and suddenly this horrendous noise came across the air, just out of nowhere. This kind of moaning, wailing noise came from somewhere, and I just couldn't understand where that was coming from.
Hold on. So you heard the noise?
I heard the noise.
Oh, damn. So this is your story. So this is based on true incident.
Well, it's based on the noise that I heard. So I said to someone in the distillery, what is that sound? What is that terrible sound? And she said, oh, it's just the wind in the roof of the new building. The wind blows through the roof of the building and it makes that strange noise. Mm-hmm. And she said, we work here. We're so used to it. We don't even hear it anymore. We don't notice it anymore. But I thought that was a very strange noise. And so
everyone hears that. Like people around there.
Yeah. Everyone hears it. And most of the people are used to it, so they don't take any notice of it.
What? So it's kind of a public noise.
Well, yeah, everybody can hear it. So I went away thinking, well, that must be the basis for a story. What could that story possibly be? And the other legend that pertains to Scotch whisky is the legend about the Angel's Share, which we talk about in the play. Because, as you know, Scotch whisky is held in barrels for sometimes 12 years, 18 years, 20 years. And during that time that the whisky matures, some of it evaporates out of the barrels. So you end up with far less whiskey than you put into the barrel. When you come to open it, some of the whiskey has gone. And that part of the whiskey which has disappeared is called the Angel's Share. Because from the Middle Ages, from
medieval times, people didn't understand about evaporation. They just knew that some of the whiskey had disappeared, and they called it the angel's share. So these two ideas, the idea of the angel's share, which is a well-known fact about whiskey, that some of it does evaporate, and the noise that I heard in the Islay distillery, these two ideas just came together in my head for this play.
5 minutes before, I thought this was a fiction. Everything. I knew the fact that this is the tradition. And I confirmed with the Jill 4-5 days back that is this true. Then I posted in Facebook groups of Scotland and told this fact. And few of people commented, yes, this happened with some of my brother went, some of my sisters. Like they told me, like friends, someone went, like 2-3 comments I heard. I confirmed the fact, okay, this is true and this is the fact. Now in 5 minutes, I am more blown on. Like Jill actually heard that voice. She was actually there. And she's not joking that people around here, like it's like imagine the honking on in the traffic area. So people ignore it because they know the honking is going on. It's kind of similar thing. People are behaving to that voice, which is like, like area in Scotland is not that crowded if you consider near distilleries and all. And there, that is kind of scary voice. And she is saying, okay, that's completely normal to us, that people are behaving in that way. Oh my God. So this is where the story actually comes from.
Yes,
Okay,
that's right.
okay. So, like, this is kind of exclusive information to all the Scotland listeners. And this particular clip, I'm going to share it with the Facebook people. I want to know how they are going to reply and respond on this. So now, just focusing again our focus to that 4% tradition of whiskey which gets evaporated, and it is considered as a tradition to as angel's share. So the government does not get involved with the taxes and custom taxes, and everything are not involved in that particular thing. So please tell us more about that, to like considering for a global audience or global listeners or people who don't know the fact, just consider like me.
Okay, so I'm not an expert on how whiskey is made, but anyone who's visiting Scotland can visit the distilleries and see how that's made. But when whiskey is first made, it's a raw spirit that you can't really drink. You wouldn't drink it. And what makes Scotch whiskey special is that it's put into barrels or casks which have already contained wine, or sometimes brandy. Different kinds of alcohol have already been stored in these casks, so that when the whiskey is stored in them, it takes on the flavor and the color of the different spirits that have already been in there. And so whiskies all have a different character and different flavor, and they sell across the world for sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of pounds. The whiskies can stay in the barrels for as little as 3 years, or they can stay in the barrels, I don't know, forever probably, but certainly they can stay in the barrels for a long time. But every year they will lose a percentage of spirit.
So
in a year they will lose a percentage, and that percentage varies. It depends on the climate, depends on the year, depends on the barrels, and so nobody can really say exactly how much that is. But the important thing is that the whiskey distilleries pay a large amount of tax to our government, the UK government.
Okay.
And they don't want to pay it any more than they have to. So the part that evaporates is counted by the government.
Yeah.
Because they can't charge tax on that part, because it's gone, it's disappeared.
Yeah.
So the angel share is important to the distilleries because it means that they can prove that the part of it they don't have to pay tax on. And in my story, the distilleries don't want to lose this angel share. They want to keep it and not sell it and be able to sell it. And so their idea is to wrap the barrels in cling film to stop the evaporation from happening. Now that's in my story. I made that up. Well, I think I made it up. I don't think the distilleries are doing that. I think I made that part up. It might be, I don't know.
Okay. But there may be some reason, like any, if not the clinch film, there may be some reason. So you're saying that
This is your part, like you put it, like people in the distillery may have used clinch film to avoid the share of Angel. Who is your favorite character from the story?
My favorite person has to be Auntie B.
Yep, I knew it.
You knew that, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very fond of Auntie B. I think because, like me, she is an older lady, but she still is influential. She still is able to help. And maybe that's how I'd like to be seen as well, an older lady, but still has some influence.
Like Auntie B has magical connection.
Connection with Bria, and that fascinated me. Okay, so in every story, what any fiction story comes to an interesting point is when there's a lady, and she has some magical powers. And even in Harry Potter, what, like, the older people have this magical connections, and they have something like happening, and that interests more to any kind of audience. Okay, this is something like comes from like very long period of time, because these people have this kind of thing. So that's what was my interest in falling in love with the Auntie B character.
She has this ability to pass on her thoughts, and she's very much connected to her niece Bria in the story. And Bria has tried to run away from the voices that she hears. She's tried to run away from the island. And because Auntie B is struggling to deal with the situation, she calls Bria back.
Yeah.
But she calls her back psychically. She doesn't call her on the phone. She calls her back psychically. And so there's a magic going on between the two of them. But when it comes to what Bria is going to do about the problem, Bria is going to use social media.
Yes.
Auntie B says, that's your world, that's your kind of magic, that's not mine. So she belongs to a different age of magic, if you like.
What inspired you to write this story down or produce it? Like, you have a story and then you think like, okay, this happened, but taking a decision to produce it and get the actor signing it. So what was that inspiration?
There were two things really, Ajay. One was that we had this idea had come into my head in a space in the global pandemic. So we had a lockdown here, and then we had a gap, and in that gap I went to Islay, where I heard the strange sound, and then we were locked down again, and I applied to an organization called Creative Scotland for funding to write 3 audio plays. And the reason I wanted to do this was because I knew that actors and producers and musicians had not had any work. They couldn't work because of the pandemic. So I asked Creative Scotland for some money, and they provided me, which was fantastic. They provided me with some money so that I could then pay actors and musicians to help me put these plays together. This particular play, it's quite a light play. It's quite a hopeful play. It's about something bad that happens, but it can be resolved. And we just come out of the pandemic, and I wanted a positive message. I wanted a happy play. And so that's really why I chose this one.
You took a brave decision going to Creative Scotland, and really, I really appreciate those people like funding you and the team and helping, because that was really tough period. Even in India, it was really tough for artists, like people who, like, not me, but people who were living on theater, and the income and the money that comes from theater, everything was struck because it was the live performance thing, and without that they don't have any income coming. There was no sponsor kind of thing happening there. So that was a really really beautiful thing that you did. Here's a huge shout out to the whole cast of this Ayrshire trilogy, Angels of Scotland. This cast was, I'm reading the name at this moment, uh, Kerry Clarence as Elsa, Diana Brooks as Auntie B, Angela Ness as Priya, Matthew O'Hara as Stewart, Neil MacDonald as Jim, the radio announcer, the BBC radio announcer, and the team which was involved in the production. Okay, John Boyd was sound production, David Simpson as song production and sound recording, Gregor Kitchie as song composer, Ron Jappy in guitar. Rachel here was there.
Will do. Yeah, they're a fantastic team. One of the things that I really love about the play is the song which the two women sing at the end.
Yes. I was coming on that. So go ahead. Tell us about the song.
Okay. Well, I wanted a song that reflected the spirit of the play, and I worked with a young composer called Gregor Kitchie. And what was interesting was when I was telling Gregor the story of the play, and I told him that Elsa is in a wheelchair, Gregor said, well, that's amazing, because actually I use a wheelchair as well. And I really understand the struggles that an artist would have when you have to use a wheelchair. Yeah. So he wrote this song called Face Fear. I was just delighted with the song because the message that came across was exactly the message of the play. Just not being afraid following the pandemic. And so Gregor Kitchie, who was the composer, was delighted to do it because Elsa is in a wheelchair, Gregor is in a wheelchair, he knows how hard it can be. And he wrote the piece, played it to me on the piano. I just loved it. And then we asked musicians to play it. So Rachel Hare plays it on a harp. It's a Scottish harp. It's called a closach. Ron Jappy accompanies her on guitar. And then the singers are Kerry Clarence and Christy Scott. And the whole song is produced by David Simpson. So if you like, that's an added extra to an audio drama. We don't always get the luxury of a song as well as a play.
When I heard the song,
I was like, what? Jill has used a song producer in an audio drama. For just an audio drama, she used like composers and like people doing song and sound production. I understand like sound production is there, but song producer and the whole team doing that song and like doing it like for a movie or kind of something. I was like, what is going on? Okay, that was really brave and beautiful step. To all the listeners, this is Jill Korn Drama Special. This whole November will be only of Jill Korn's dramas. So this is going to happen. We are going to come back again after the next release, after in this Ayrshire trilogy, and more plays are coming. More collaborations are happening with Jill Korn and Sound Escape Theatre, which is Jill's home production, which he calls as Sound Escape Theatre. So in collaboration with Sound Escape Theatre and Jill Korn, we will be coming back every release of Jill Korn dramas. This is month of November on creativeaudios.in podcast, Jill Korn drama specials. This was Angels of Scotland, which you were listening to. And thank you so much for your valuable time, Jill. Thank you so much. We'll be meeting very soon for the next release.
Great talking to you. Thank you.